It's time for Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Tonight, let us make them remember we are not afraid!
Yeah. No fear here on Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock. Oh, we're going to get to talk to Jacek Spendel. He's my new best friend. He's Jacek and I go back, God, a decade or so, a long time, when he was a student at the Arizona Project. Well, I think it was called Language of Liberty back then, and then, Jacek took over. And then this year, when we introduced and interviewed the 6 students from around the world, we do that every year, and they came on, and he wasn't there. I'm like, well, where's Jacek? What's up? Well, it was turned over to one of the other students that ran it, and I think Maria, and she did a really good job. Well, my whole thing was, I'm going, hey, man, where's Jacek? Oh, he's Presidente. He's Presidente of Liberty International, which used to be International Society for Individual Liberty. It was one of the first, if not the first, libertarian organizations back in the day. They were promoting libertarianism, Libertarian Party, libertarian politicians, libertarian philosophy, libertarians. And a lot of the old guard from them I know, and they're starting to age out. They're retired and on vacation. And what happened, then I found out that Jacek took it. Oh, hell yeah. So Ken Schoolin stepped down to VP, and he's out, having fun, and he's going to be in our Liberty, the Philosophy of Liberty project. Well, of course, we got to talk to Jacek, because Jacek's Jacek. And we want to say hello. Say hello to the audience, Jacek.
Hello, audience, and hello, Ernie. It's amazing to be back in your show. The first time I was your guest was over 14 years ago, 14 and a half. It was in the summer of 2011 when I was an intern at Goldwater Institute. Way before Liberty, I joined LI, way before Project Arizona was started. Those were great years as well.
Yeah, no, this is good. And Magda, how's she doing? And you got 2 kids now, man.
Yeah. She's doing very good. She's mom, and she's taking care of the house and 2 children. One is 4.5 years old, Leopold, and Wanda is 2 years old. So boy and girl.
Awesome. You done? You have more? We need more libertarians. Are you
right
doing
now?
your part?
It's good.
Man, you got to get at least a 0.2 of a kid. We got to have a 2 point something, birth rate. Yeah. Tell her I said hey. Now Magda was a student along with Jacek when they came to Arizona, and they fell in love with Arizona. And what up, man? When's the last time you've been to Arizona?
Oh, Ernie, it was only 3 weeks ago. I came for basically for 5 days. So I had a short but busy trip to United States. I went first to San Francisco. We had a Liberty International event for our U.S. audience, mostly our donors. It was Technology and Freedom event. We had Scott Bannister, one of the guys from the early PayPal Mafia, as they call them. We had John Chisholm, Terry Easton, Lawrence Reed, quite famous, from Foundation for Economic Education. So we had a nice event. Then I came for 5 or 6 days to Phoenix. and I stayed with the students, and I watched how Maria Alejandra is managing the project, and I agree with you. She's doing a great job. This first time, Project Arizona was run without me. Okay, I visited for a few days, but it was basically run without me, and Maria Alejandra did a great job. We had fantastic students this year, and later I came for 3 days to Canada to visit my friend that he was probably your guest as well many years ago. Adedeji Akintayo is a Nigerian guy, a Nigerian libertarian. His life story is a subject for another meeting. And
well, I want to talk about your life story. Now, this is read your bio. Your connection with Liberty International began in '06 as a scholarship student at the Prague LIWC. What's that?
LIWC stands for Liberty International World Conference. So this is the flagship project. It's the oldest and still going on project of Liberty International, previously ISIL. It used to be called just World Conference. Now it's Liberty International World Conference. So the first one was 1982 in Zurich, before I was born, and Murray Rothbard spoke there. Another one was 1990 in San Francisco with Milton Friedman as a keynote speaker. There was another one with Ron Paul as a keynote speaker. There were gatherings in places very far away, like Swaziland in Africa in late 80s, or Estonia, Tallinn, Estonia in early 90s, just 1 year after it got liberated from Soviet Union, Estonia is a free country. Poland as well. Okay, so I had a privilege and luck to be a student on scholarship. They funded my participation in 2006 in Prague. So I discovered libertarianism only less than 2 years earlier, about 2004, because another organization translated Murray Rothbard for New Liberty into Polish. But I was not very satisfied with the Polish movement. It was very small and already divided, kind of fragmented. And I came to Prague and I saw 200 libertarians from all over the world, many of them from US. And that was very energizing.
But why did you go?
That made me think I need to learn English, because my English was so bad that I only understood Ken Skulan's speech.
Very simple.
He spoke very slowly, and he picked easy words. I understood, but the others not that much. But I kind of felt like I am missing something important. I need to learn. So yeah, the journey with International Movement for Liberty, it started with my organization right now with Liberty International in '06.
Okay, now why did you even care? Who was it that handed you your first Ayn Rand book or something? I mean, how is it that you got to go to that?
That's even earlier. It was not. I don't want to lie. It was not about the book. It was a politician, and often it starts with politicians. We tend not to like them, and I don't like most of them, to be honest. But there was this Polish conservative libertarian politician. He used to be pretty good. Now he went kind of crazy over the years, but he always defended maximum economic and personal liberty. Very radical, super radical. He mixed these ideas with monarchism. I don't know why, but okay, but that was less important for me. What was important was he was a radical pro-liberty guy in the sea of this, blah blah blah, boring guys. And I was like, whoa, that's interesting what this guy is talking about. And my friend handed me the newspaper, a magazine, a weekly magazine. This politician, his small political party, they were printing in Poland, and I opened it and I started reading every week. It was the thing every week on this day when it was in the kiosk. I would buy and read from the beginning till the end, and the passion for liberty was growing. So only later I got the books. And for New Liberty by Murray Rothbard, which I mentioned, It was one of the first ones I read. I discovered Hayek and Rand later.
But why?
But I always had this
What
feeling
motivated you down this road, Jacek?
yeah, so
I mean,
I had this feeling, maybe it's similar to you, Ernie, I don't know, but my feeling was that this stuff is too good to just keep it to myself. Just read and think like, oh, I'm wise now, I know better. No, I'm not that kind of guy. I even though I didn't read all of these books, just some of them, I already kind of felt that, okay, these are revolutionary ideas, and I felt that I need to share with the world and that I want to be active. I don't want to just sit and read and get satisfied that I know better than others. I had this urge, you call it, I think there's this word, sense of urge. Yeah, that I need to go out and mobilize and do something about this to spread the word, even in a very simple fashion. So that's why I was searching on the internet for other people, like-minded people. I found this conservative. It was called conservative liberal, but yeah, it's like conservative libertarian youth group, Oliver, which is hummingbird, and we created a branch in my city, and we were doing happenings. We were laughing from the socialism. We were making a socialism a joke, basically. And doing some conferences as well, and often responding to some issues that were important, political issues of the day, very often clashing with labor unions because we hated them. I mean, I still do.
Now I see in this picture I got up now. I see Marie Roth. That's Marie Rothbard, isn't it? I mean, not Marie Rothbard.
This is Ludwig von Mises, and this is a picture from Buenos Aires. We had.
Mary Ruart. That's what I meant. But
Mary Ruart. Mary has ideas similar to Mary Rothbard, but she's better.
Yeah, no, I know Mary well, and I'm telling you, we're going, Mary Ruart, Donna, get her on, boom, man, we're going to have a yakami on that. This has been so interesting to watch all the students and you and how they go back to their countries and start. Of all the Arizona Project kids kids, I mean, everybody's a kid until they hit 40, but all these
I hit 40 actually this year. I'm no more a kid. Yeah, that's crazy, right? Can you imagine?
You're not a kid anymore. Yeah, I was a kid until I was 40. Everybody's calling you kid. But, the one thing that I wanted to make sure that we emphasized here, how are we doing internationally? This is something, we got a project coming up that we're working on. We're going to want you to, at least know about and maybe help with. But it is so interesting to me to see how powerful freedom is, and it because of the censorship. I mean, it is amazing how they censor this stuff. And this video right here, The Philosophy of Liberty, goes back to, early 90s or so. I mean, we use this like crazy, and Lux Luker, the guy that did it, he also helped with the editing of our show. Any new, fresh, libertarian foothold, he would be there and help, a lot of what you're doing. So we're wanting to take the old school kind of pamphleting, paper, magazine, the things that influence so many people, and we knew the internet was really going to kick butt, and the internet was dominated by libertarian philosophy until those come in and go, nah, you're not allowed, So we're going to go old school, just like we did Sign Everywhere Sign during the Levolution, the Love Bus Liberty Tour against mandatory vaccinations and all this kind of stuff. Freedom's the answer. What's the freaking question? So what I'm looking for is your perspective on what's going on now in the world. How are you doing? Liberty International and the other organizations, and you get to go and hang out with Javier Milei in Argentina and working with them and the youth and so on. This targeting of the youth has certainly been done by the bad guys. How are you guys doing?
Yes, so it's a big question, because I can answer how Liberty International is doing, and the answer will be very, very good. We grow with projects. We see more and more people, passionate young people at our events. and we changed the mission. Now it's more practical mission, I would say, finding and expanding freedom in unfree world. Ernie, you must remember Harry Brown, right?
Yep.
He was a writer, he was an investor, and he was candidate for president of US from Libertarian Party in 96 and 2000. So our our new mission is Harry Brown inspired. Basically, we want to be we want to be this organization that helps every individual, doesn't matter which country you come from, doesn't matter what income you have, what color of skin, to help you to find more liberty in this world, in this unperfect world, this world that is full of regulation, taxes, stupid things, violence, wars. But even in that world, there are oases of freedom, there are elements of freedom. That's thanks to internet, that's thanks to the old-fashioned globalization. I know that now people call globalization something different, but when the globalization was a word first time in 90s, it was about free markets and free trade. That's my definition, the old-fashioned one. There are still forces for that. I don't talk about the United Nations and crap like that, of course. But there are elements of freedom in today's world. We are there as Liberty International to bring these elements of freedom closer to individuals so that they can make their life happier, and happiness must have freedom as a ground base. So we have courses in financial freedom, we have programs in mental freedom, because a lot of people have problems to figure out their life these days, and first is important to figure out what's good for you, and then only later you can think about, community and the whole world, how to fix it. We deal with we deal with financial education. We deal with global citizenship, we call it. So basically, we want to help people to emigrate if they believe that they live in a horrible place where there's too many restrictions, or maybe it's totalitarian or authoritarian, like Russia, like China, or hell knows,
or U.S.
countries. Yes, we want to help out, So there is knowledge that in the past, rather more wealthy people were obtaining. They were paying a lot of money to certain companies to learn how to get second passport, how to open a bank account in a foreign country. These things don't need to be secretive anymore. And it's much easier to invest money these days. You can invest with very small amount in crypto, for example, or even in gold, and in stocks as well, than it was in the past. So we are here to help to find these oases or elements of freedom so people can live freer lives. But we also still do the inspirational stuff. That's why Ken Schooland's Jonathan Gullible Adventures, and we made an animation on this. I love your idea of promoting this philosophy of freedom. We should be part of it, most definitely. So we often say that we have three spheres of activities: inspirational, then training leaders for freedom. That's where Project Arizona comes, which is basically a leadership training program in one of the best places in the world, which is called Arizona, where Ernie is lucky to live. We have other training programs like Liberty camps. We are very close with Glenn Kripe and his Language of Liberty Institute. And finally, we have this segment that we call Empowered, and these are the very practical ones. So I mentioned all of these trainings. I can also mention Digital Nomad Initiative that we have. It's a digital nomad tax freedom initiative. We learned that in this sea of bad news in the world about, wars and taxes and regulation and immigration barriers and everything, there is massive of bad news, but there are some few good news. So one of the few good things that happen around the world is that some governments, not all of them, want to compete for so-called digital nomads, and they want to attract them with lower taxation. So we created an index of countries that offer these so-called digital nomad visas. and we look at very hard data, like how much tax will you pay, how much you need to earn to qualify, how easy or maybe hard is the process to get such a visa, because we want to be this organization that helps average people to live freer lives, because freer life is a happier life, right? It's all about happiness. But you asked about the state of the world, I know, and the world is in not the greatest state.
Well, it's fertile for this kind of activity. Yeah. You know, happiness is like a pursuit of happiness. It was explained to me one time. I really caught on to this. You know, James Corbett goes, you know, the pursuit of happiness is not like joy or an emotion. It meant happenstance, your circumstances, your pursuit of changing your circumstances. You know, the pursuit of happiness, of my happenstance, of how I can be free, how I can be happy, how I can produce, I can do. So my thing, our personal, you know, Donna and I promised her we go on that Love Bus Liberty tour, and if we liquidated everything, we go on this. After that, I'd build her a home in the desert, which is what we're doing. And that is one thing I'm just like, you know, occupy the land with attainable housing. So we're out here doing it. But what we knew is that it was going to be technology that allowed, whoops, wrong one. It was technology that was going to allow us to be able to be above the grid, off the grid. We're not going to wait to be free. We can go ahead and create it ourselves. One of the things is that we, of course, you want to learn something, build a house. They'll teach you everything. But, you know, the big thing is growing your own food, educating your own kids. Oh, does Magda, does she, you guys plan on homeschooling, or you got another alternative that you're using? What do you think?
So far, it's Montessori kindergarten, and maybe we'll stick with this. We don't know for sure yet, but I admire that many people do homeschooling. It should be definitely possible and encouraged.
How is that worldwide? You know, the homeschooling thing. I mean, is it, you know, the majority of people getting educated? Everybody's, oh, here comes America and USAID and going there, going to build a school and, you know, and indoctrinate teach your kids, you know, kind of thing. So is worldwide, how is homeschooling as a thing? And can you supply material for that?
So I think it's still the strongest in the US, but it is existing in other countries. In Poland, it's small, but kind of growing. The legal situation is not too bad for homeschoolers, but there are countries like Germany where it is impossible. I think it's a lack of trust to the people, because the government thinks like, oh, if they homeschool, maybe they teach Nazism, or maybe they teach something dangerous. We need to know, right? So,
wow.
So it's not so good in many countries, but it's not that is only in the U.S. It's happening in a good portion of. But I cannot tell you what is the percentage. I don't know. I know more about digital nomadism than homeschooling.
You just ask AI. That's one thing. As you're doing your animations and so on and everything, you know, Donna is really concerned that, you know, I have Grok on my phone and I use it for, you know, all kinds of, you know, the manual on this inverter does and can do that and connect this and build materials and volume math problem of. And she's like, you know, you're talking to another woman. I mean, you know, that kind of thing. But, you know, it was, but the idea is that they, just like with the internet and a lot of things, they get you dependent. And then, you know, oh, for convenience, how much of a DNA sample do you need from me to be able to access my AI kind of crime? I can see it coming. You know, they're going to make us dependent. But it's also a tool. And when you guys are doing your animation thing, are you using AI as part of that process?
So we have an entire team of animators. We have a storytelling department, actually. It's one of the very few organizations in the Liberty sphere that has storytelling department, and most of these guys are in Latin America, in Argentina mostly. We've had our team right now, we have nearly 20 people, and 40% are from Argentina. So you can imagine what's going on down there. There's so many passionate people, and they want to work for Liberty and Liberty International. But yes, they use AI. It's a mix. We have still human beings who know the business of animation, but they use AI in their work. So it's not like at the moment it's not yet
it's just getting started.
Human beings, but it's a great tool. So perhaps we need to employ or contract less people thanks to AI. It's a very helpful tool, but it doesn't do the whole work, so far, not yet.
No, you still have to have the human element in it, at least this week. I mean, God knows what's going to happen, but
yeah.
The now's the time. And I'm old enough to remember I was Jacek decades ago, and Don and I started in the late 80s, and I'm telling you, I've seen the coming totalitarianism. You could just see the progression. There was a book called Unintended Consequences in 94, and it was about mostly it focused on government and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and how they were using that to go after people's ability to resist. And so it's been a long... When I first started going to college at Arizona State University, it was at the time of affirmative action. So people think all this stuff is, this wokeism stuff just happened. No, it was affirmative action back then. My first English 101 class, they were teaching us Ebonics, Ebonics, I think it was called. It was how to talk like a hood rat. Yeah, I'd be going through the stove. I mean, you had to write it. I'm like, who the hell did this? This is a college class? I'm going, where am I? Why? So it was obvious. And then in a philosophy class, did a paper, and they wanted to have, there was two philosophies. Utilitarianism was the best for most people, that kind of thing, and deontology, which was more of a principled approach. And I made the argument that the most benefit for everyone is a principled approach. You're not allowed to say that. And then I knew that it was indoctrination. Then I knew that we were under some kind of a mind control, and then it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. When does it stop? What breaks? It's always economics. And I go, it's going to be a food thing. Sooner or later, it's going to be too expensive to eat. It's going to be crap. You're not going to be able, it's not even going to be on the shelf. And when they did COVID and we had the lockdowns, the supply chain stuff, and, a sheet of plywood went up to $1 billion. I mean, I'm going, wow, I think it's time. I think a lot of people are getting woke up. During COVID, was that a boon for you guys? Did people realize, what those libertarians have been saying? Damn. I mean, that's about the time that you started, rising up in influence. And I'm wondering, was COVID and all the happenings there a benefit to liberty? What do you think?
I don't know. I couldn't say that it was a boom back then. But coming back to your talk on wokeness and this indoctrination, I think I agree that they always did this, but recently they speeded it up, and they pushed this pedal too much. So right. when you cook this frog in a low temperatures, people don't see, right? Or you can even succeed in telling them that this is for your good, this is for the best interest of society, etc. But they increase the heat, I think, and for so-called an average person, it was too much. And I think Donald Trump won, and not because he's a great guy. I don't think he's a great guy, to be honest. I think he has a lot of flaws. It's mostly because people had enough of this progressive bullshit. Sorry for my French.
Yeah, no, he was a side effect.
He was a side effect. People just wanted to show a middle finger to these politicians who know better. They know better what should be in your body. They know better what you should think, and they know better everything. So it was as a sign.
Where do you get most of your support? I mean, financial support, or just an army of young people, or private
donations of individuals, mostly United people from United States. So we are not very big, you know. Our budget is about our annual budget is about $400,000. So much less than think tanks, you know. But I think when somebody donates to Liberty International, the buck goes much further than if you donate to, I don't know, a think tank from New York City or Washington D.C., God forbid, right? We look at the dollar from 5 sides before we spend it, and we have, you know, at the moment we have almost 20 people in our team. We have 6 departments. We didn't have anything like that a few years ago, and we are growing a lot. And we employ in our team. There's no single American. Sorry, but we are looking at this bag so much that we want the best quality for the best price, and it's hard to afford, you know.
Yeah, you got me for free, man. You know, what can we do?
Yeah, for free is the best price, right? But no, they don't want for free. We pay people. But we have people from Argentina, India. I am from Poland. We just employed a guy from North Macedonia, actually. We have people from Nigeria, so Africa is represented as well.
Give me the commonality. What is it? I'm looking for the secret sauce. You know, that's why I always ask, you know, why? Because to me, if there was a, you know, at 3 years old, you know, help your big brother operate a lemonade stand and that sent you down the road. I mean, something. You know, I'm all of these young people that you're influencing that are part of it. What do you think? Is it biological? I mean, is it just the way their brain's wired? Was it something that exposed? Was it tyranny? Was it just like Christians? You know, he just seems happier. He's got a better life. I'll go see what they're doing. I'll go to his church, you know, that kind of thing. And you see the kind of the positive aspects of advocating for freedom, and you go, yeah, I want to do something. I don't know. What is the commonality that you think with these young people that are going? I see a lot of Students for Liberty infrastructure in a lot of things, too. A lot of the guys that are in, like, the Arizona Project, or you keep hearing about Students for Liberty. And then you remember Alan Corwin? You know Alan. You know, the big
friend. And he's our donor as well.
There you go. There you go. Well, he was.
Be like Alan.
You know, he's a thing. But you know, he's a author of a lot of gun books and so on. So that's his thing.
You know, yeah, but, we got many gifts.
Well, his criticism was metrics. He's always about metrics. You know, how many views? How many that one? I don't believe whatever the hell YouTube says anyway. You know, and it's so manipulated. This project, promotion of the philosophy of liberty. I'm not looking for metrics. I don't care. Because if you go and you even ask AI, you go search, you try and see how many downloads, they go, well, that thing's only been around since 13. It's got 16,000 views on this, a couple on that. I'm like, right. I know that thing's got millions. And it has been so suppressed, and I like it when they do that. It means you're over the target. So I'm going, okay, here we go. I'm not worried about metrics. How it will benefit you is that you just have more minds freed, and they're looking for something like Liberty International and Jacek.
When you talk about when you ask about the commonality, common answer, like maybe it's not good word answer, but something these people have in common. My answer will be parents who are hardworking, usually entrepreneurs. So many of these guys who come to Project Arizona, and you know, they come from very faraway countries. Now we had an African for the first time, the guy from Uganda, but usually Asia, Latin America, a little bit of Eastern Europe. Many of them have a very hardworking, not necessarily rich. Usually it's the middle class. They're not poor either. But hardworking, dedicated parents, and a child observe, and the child see, hey, my father or my mother or both of them, they earned a living that we have, and they earned it with hard work, and not because of government, but in spite of government.
Right.
They heard these conversations at home that government is robbing us, that government is squeezing us like a sponge, and they have this proper mindset that.
Well, there's a bunch more of that going on right now.
Yeah, like majority of students maybe are not like this, but our students are different than than
you know, the one girl. You remember the girl from Nepal, the short girl?
Of course. Yeah.
What was her name? I can't remember.
Oh, I also forgot now. Sorry.
Well, what happened to her? She rose to prominence by writing an essay or something in college. Wrote something about the forced marriages and
Kamala. She's like the candidate for U.S. Kamala was her name.
She's a candidate for
no,
office?
No. I just remember that there was a candidate for U.S. president against Donald Trump, Kamala Harris. Our Kamala from Nepal. She has the same first name.
Oh, okay.
But her last name is different. Kamala Neupane.
Oh, yeah, I'll remember that. But I got the Kamala part. Now, what happened was she came to the Arizona Project, and of course because they got to go shooting. I don't know what the thing is, man. It's a gun thing. So they come to Arizona, they got to go shooting. Well, she went and she took the pictures of her at the gun range, you know, with an AR-15 or whatever, and they didn't like it none too much in Nepal. They're like, no, you can't. I don't know what happened to her. She went back. They were threatening her all kinds of stuff.
She never came back. She stayed in the U.S.
Really?
As far as I know, she lives in Ohio, and she was applying for some job at the free market at FEE, Foundation for Economic Education. I'm not sure she got it, but she stayed in the U.S. She's still in the U.S. That's not typical example. Most 95% of them come back home, but you picked Kamala. She has never.
Well, they weren't going to make her go into Nepal easy. They did not want her. I mean, it was a thing, and you got to take that picture down.
Ernie, why don't you go to Nepal next year? We have a world conference in Kathmandu in August. And it'll be cooler than Phoenix.
Oh,
and maybe
tempting.
We make you talk or something.
Yeah, well, let me know. We'll work out something. But, you know, I'd like to get if you got her contact information, I want to talk to her. That would be interesting.
Okay.
You know, one of the few students that stayed here because her advocacy for freedom was not welcome in her home country. And then, of course, all the stuff that's going on with Nepal now and China and India, all that kind of, I'm just like, you know, this would be an interesting conversation. She found freedom in an unfree world in America, such as that is.
I see now she married an American guy. She's now Kamala Ray, not Neupane anymore.
Awesome. Do me a favor and send contact information to Donna. I'd like to talk to her.
She delivered 2 kids. She delivered 2 kids. That's
boom, great. Boom. These are the success stories. Now, I wanted to, before you go ahead and tell us what your plans for your Presidente. It all falls on you, man. I don't want to hear no whining. You know, tell me what your plans are. What is it that you're measuring your success by? And I don't give a crap about numbers and so on. It's influence. It's impact. That's one thing about Students for Liberty. What I was going to say was Alan Corwin. Alan was, you know, going, well, can I join your students? He goes, are you a student? Well, no, but I'm going, nope, you can give me money. But, you know, you can't, you know, it's for students. Students define that. How do you is it an age bracket? Is you got to be at a university? Is it, you know, and how are you guys interfacing? Because you draw a lot of your people from the young minds coming up that way. And we just had on the editing director, I can't remember, Andre, I think it was, that does a lot of videos for Students for Liberty and so on. He had never heard of the philosophy of liberty. I'm like, man. That's what triggered.
Freo, I think he's from Brazil originally. If this is the same, Andre. But we at Liberty International, we have proposition for all metrics, as you say, all age groups. And we often say that our World Conference, the flagship project, which was this year, it was in Buenos Aires. That's where we awarded Milei, and he spoke, and his people from his cabinet. Normally, we don't have really politicians, but that was an exception. Like I think this government is an exception because I am very anti-government, but these guys are nice. I need to say, exceptional.
Well, the youth in Argentina, how in the crowds that you have there, or he, talks to a crowd, Malay gets up there and does his chainsaw thing. What's the average age? I mean, is Argentina a young country? Or
yeah, it's much younger
it?
than the U.S., much younger than Poland and most of Europe. When I arrived and I was in this taxi, 7 a.m. maybe it was, and I hear Milei speaking in Spanish, and I didn't know what he speaks about. I asked my friend, and he says like, oh, he's speaking that cuts are necessary, that we need to embrace individual liberty and free markets. And I was like, oh my God, this is really happening? I'm in a country where there's a president speaking libertarian credo in radio. It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know how long it will last. Maybe not that long, because it's democracy and it has flaws. But when it's happening, it's fun. But let me come back to the big question. So we have a World Conference. We call it Family Affair. I know many other organizations also say our event is Family Affair, but in our case, it's literally very different age groups. We have students on scholarships, young people. We have young or mid-age business people. We have always intellectuals academia people. We have quite a lot of, retired guys, mostly from US. They are 65 plus or 70 plus. They have some money and they love liberty. So they come to our events. We are every year elsewhere. This year, Argentina, next year, Nepal. 1 year ago, we were in Texas, actually. Another year earlier in Madrid, Georgia, Poland, Mongolia, everywhere,
So, you mentioned Glenn Kripe. Now, Glenn, belonged to a supper club that I go to and so on. He was a retired, stockbroker or something, Prudential, whatever the hell he did. And he wanted to go and have an influence on freedom in Europe because he's from Slovakia, originally in Czech Republic. Something.
His grandmother was from today's Eastern Slovakia. Back then was Habsburg Empire, I think, the Austro-Hungarian Empire.
Well, what happened was he started Language of Liberty, and Language of Liberty, because liberty is mostly in English. And one of the things is Europe, their second language, oftentimes is English. I would go and I'd show Jacek and the guys, we translate Freedom's Phoenix into, gazillion languages. You put it, you go, well, that's caveman talk, man. We all speak English, dummy. And I'm going, oh, okay, well, there's that. But so Glenn started Language of Liberty, which was the Arizona project before. It was, having these conferences around and giving scholarships to these young people to come to Arizona. And Jacek took it over, and eventually, I don't know how it morphed into Arizona
Glenn
project.
Glenn is still doing liberty camps. Glenn is still doing liberty camps.
That's why I want to know what Glenn's doing now. How's he holding up?
I mean, last year, I say last year, but it's still the same year. I know it's December is kind of tricky, right? We think it's last, but it's still the same year. So this year in the summer, he did something amazing for me. He's 76 years old, and the guy he started the summer camps in June in Nepal. And then in July, he moved to Colombia. He did Liberty Camp in Colombia. Right after Colombia, he did Liberty Camp in Peru, first time ever. Then he did Liberty Camp in Argentina, in Cordoba. And then he did the World Conference. And he brought students from all of these camps. And he paid from his private pocket for many of these guys to come. And these tickets are not that cheap. If you want to fly from, they don't have, I think, free markets yet in South America for flights. I mean, even in Europe, it's not free market, but maybe less regulated. It was usually $500, $600, or $700 for a flight ticket. He brought about 20 students. We gave them, of course, scholarships for the conference. They didn't need to pay the tickets, but he had like a fan base. They were shouting, "Glenn, Glenn, Glenn."
Good for him.
Good for him. Yeah.
This is where your support is coming from. A bunch of us old guard libertarian types that got a few extra bucks and kind of support, and Jacek's there now, so give Liberty International money and he'll go make use of it. But the point is that that's why I think they were so afraid of crypto rich people. When these young libertarian, freedom-oriented, leave me aloneists kind of embraced the promise of crypto. We're working on the Xano project with Aaron Day and Roger Ver and so on creating the infrastructure for trade and communication and privacy and our mesh networks and all that kind of stuff here as a use case scenario in this community here. And
for us, crypto is very important, and our top donors are giving in crypto.
See,
so
that's my point. They got a whole new wave of money for you. The young people are got some money now. What the hell are they going to do with it? So you're getting some of that? That's good.
Of course. We are very, very pro crypto. We accept donations in crypto. We teach actually about crypto in the financial freedom course. So yeah, this is one of the good things that happen because what's important? Okay, these bastards from government. They want to chase us. They want to control us, but they are always one step behind. We are in front of them, and if we keep that way and we do it persistently, we don't need to be, as you say, don't be afraid, right? Just we need to be smart. We need to outsmart them, and we are operating in free markets. They don't. So
that's why this philosophy of liberty thing.
We are keeping top-notch, technology, and we analyze what's going on around us. We don't need to be that afraid. We just need to adjust every year. Because they are coming after us, but they will not catch us easily.
No, I see the AI thing as it's a double-edged thing. I mean, of course, they're going to try and use it to control us. They're going to try and use digital currency to control us. They're going to try and Bitcoin's going to be, if not already, it's GoldmanSucks.gov coin. I mean, I get it. But the point is that the technology and the ability of people like you and organizations like Liberty International and a bunch of the others has the mindset to make use of these tools to beat the living crap out of the freaking collectivists. And the battle for your mind is on now. Like Alex Jones goes on, it's an info war. Well, yep, sure as heck. And they're doing a slow control kill replaced with AI robot kind of, we don't need you anymore. And my solution is get above the grid, not just off the grid, just get above it. I mean, create your own thing, occupy the land. And in America, that's probably a lot easier than other places. As you do your freedom quotient, evaluation of different countries, property rights, property taxes, permits, being able to build, doing, how is that worldwide? Is every freaking dry piece of land under somebody's control you're not allowed, or are there places where it's way freer? What do you think?
I don't think it's way freer in most of the places. The problem is that too many people have this mindset that the government is there to help them, and rather than fighting the rat
race.
No. Cutting regulation, basically. They rather think about getting handouts, getting subsidies, getting grants. In Europe, where I live, that's the biggest cancer. All of these European Union, subsidies, grants, and whatsoever. People go crazy about it without asking the most simple questions: where does money come from, and what does it do to people and competition, and so on and so forth. So I think you still have this more pioneer mindset in the U.S. And your situation is better in that regard. So it's a hard work, but we don't need to win everyone. We need to win strong minority. And
now that's my point.
I also believe that I'm happy with every single person that is converted to liberty. And even if I don't win majority, because that's very hard, we don't tell people the fairy tales like the socialists do or nationalists do. But with every single person who heals his or her mind from this collectivist bullshit, I'm very happy, and maybe we never get a majority, but we still can make a difference.
Yes, no, that's the point. Before you go, I know you got to go, but I wanted to, emphasize that point. It's not how many, it's who. It's the quality of the people. It is the mindset that they have. Leave me aloneism. What are you? An anarchist? I'm a leave me aloneist. That's what I am. I don't know what you want to call it. But the American structure, as you learn more and more about how the republic was built here and the constitutional democratic republic, where the people use the democratic process to have the representative republic part that's bound down by the chains of the Constitution thing. In the idea of it is, at least they made an attempt. I mean, they had the right goal, but I don't know, just too much. It opened the barn door for all the sociopaths, psychopaths to come in and rule you, And the people have to understand that you got to decentralize authority, certainly down to the individual and certainly the family. I mean, the community, something. Everybody is delegating their personal authority to somebody else to fix it for them. That is the problem. They don't have the idea, the concept of self-ownership, and the proper role of government was to free you, to let you do your own thing, protect your own property, protect your liberty, they're a protectorate. That's G. Edward Griffin always goes, no, government's a protectorate. But if you don't have that protectorate, then bad guys do bad stuff anyway. But the thing is that concept is what I'm trying to resurrect. And the philosophy of liberty was an old school, quick 8-minute bit kind of boom. I get it. That is what
Ernie,
we're trying
don't
to
you
do.
think that around the world, and that includes U.S., but I see it in Poland and other countries, the word libertarian, I hear it more and more often. I mean, it looks and they don't, and the mainstream doesn't like it. They believe it's a threat. Those libertarians, they are doing crazy things in Argentina, or they are tech moguls in Silicon Valley, or they maybe want to create a monster or something. I was like, okay. You see we exist. Maybe
They're afraid.
Maybe you have misconception, but you already see we exist. That's good. So maybe there is something going on.
Yeah, you can't swing a dead cat without hitting some politician telling you how libertarian they are. In 2004, when I ran against Senator John McCain, it was because in the Chicago Tribune, he was going on, he's the maverick, how libertarian he was. I go, what? I go, hell yeah. Watch this. I'll show you how libertarian he is. So we ran up against him, and then we had some fun with that. But the thing is that, yeah, of course they're going to, take whatever they think gets some votes, But libertarianism, the Libertarian Party, I don't see the Libertarian Party. It seems like it's controlled opposition. What's your experience with the Libertarian Party as a national level? Has it been helpful at all? I see Mary Ruart is there, like she's trying to fix it.
We cannot be too close with the party because we have 501c3. We have this status, that.
No, I understand, but what's your opinion of their effect?
Well, I have many friends who are members of the party, and they are from different factions. Some are from the currently governing faction. Some are from Mises Caucus, and I have friends here and there, so I don't want to take sides. I know that they are in trouble right now. They lost a lot of money and members, so perhaps some mistakes were done. I'm still waiting for revival. I would love to see a strong candidate because I want them to run the country or something. I don't care that much about government, but I care about this party can be a nice tube for ideas. Like Ron Paul was a tube for liberty. It was not about having Ron Paul as a president. Well, maybe that would be great, but it was about Ron Paul as a tube that politics can be useful in this aspect. So I think they have a lot of internal trouble. I hope they figure it out because we need their tube. It's not everything, I believe, like every business, liberty movement is also and should be complex, meaning different people are doing different things. It's good that some people are in public policy think tanks. Some other people are in do tanks, and they are more activists, grassroots activists. Other people are journalists like you, Ernie, and they're speaking about this and reaching audiences. Some other people, they like politics, so they are in the party or they are campaigning. I was never that type, but I can imagine some people like this. It's good we are doing different things as long as our goal is individual liberty and peace and so on. But the party, well, I wait because I think that there should be an opportunity. They just don't grasp it yet. Hope they
Well, it's
will.
just like you taking over Liberty International. It's the generation next. There's always a generation next. And I'm waiting for that. You know, it'll happen. You got guys like Dave Smith out there, you know, giving what for, and Tom Woods, and, you know, Kinsella, and Murphy. You know, a lot of these guys, you know, the Mises Cock. I know Scott Horton well, and of course Ron Paul and so on, Lou Rockwell. But the old guard is starting to turn it over to Jacek. And we're counting on See, when I thought of this project, the philosophy of liberty and what we're doing, and, you know, setting the groundwork for that, it never even occurred to me to talk to the Libertarian Party. Why? I mean, you know, it's not like they don't know about it. You know, I'll reach out. I'll see if there's a faction that wants to participate, and you may be getting contacted. But I think our segue into that is going to be Mary Ruart. Now, she'll know what's up. You know, we'll talk to Mary and see what's up.
Yeah, Ernie, also have a look at the Live and Let Live movement. Mark, he's, you know very well, Mark, right?
Yeah.
He's building something.
How's that going? Live and Let Live project.
It's going, but a lot of work is not visible yet because a really amazing website is in the preparation. The book is in the prep. 2026 will be the year when we should see the book, the new website, finally the group of ambassadors, and well, further years we'll see more. Mark would like to see even, you know, he wants to have a cultural shift. He wants to see, you know, big concerts. He wants to connect this with reconciliation, you know, that people stop hating each other because I am from the left, I am from right. Kind of like liberty message to be also the glue for society, you know?
I'll talk to Mark and see if I can get him behind the philosophy of liberty thing.
A lot of good ideas, very, they are very, it's not that easy to make it happen, but people who don't dream, they don't do great things, right? So I think it's great that he has so much energy and passion for the cause.
Yeah, you know, Mark Victor and I are good friends. He's an attorney for freedom, attorneysforfreedom.com. I mean, he's a liberty-oriented criminal defense attorney, and he and I started the Freedom Summit together, and that went on for, 12, 13 years. And this has been, there's a lot of relationships that we have. And I've always been the street activist. Sign everywhere, a sign, something. Direct, I'm somebody doing something crazy and cool, I'm the second guy on the hill helping them dance. So this is going to be that kind of project, and I'm glad Jacek's on. I know you got to go, but it's been great just catching up with you, and I'm so, I don't know, is pride the word? I'm just so happy for your success. You know, that you've gone through to get to this level, because I know Jacek, good guy. And it's not often that you get passionate, good guys that will take on an international ability to spread liberty, and they got tools and contacts and a lot of people that we know. And when I found out that Jacek was the president of Liberty International, I go, oh, it's on, it's on, it's on. So we want to help. You know, we want to help. So before you go, tell us about the Arizona project and the next recruiting. How does that go when you select the people that'll be here next year we get to talk to?
So next year is special. It's going to be 10th anniversary. Can you imagine 10th anniversary?
Boom!
Project Arizona. I still remember like yesterday that I came with my wife, Magda, back then fiancé, and we were just talking to people like, do you think this project would fit Arizona, then maybe do you think we can find donors? Do you think we can have? And
I
Ernie
was
helped a
very
lot. Ernie
encouraging.
you connected with Mark Victor, and Mark Victor offered internships at Attorneys for Freedom. So I remembered this. You played a really good, important, positive role. So we have the 10th anniversary, and we are changing Project Arizona. Now it's going to be 6 months project. Can you imagine? But it's not 6 months in Arizona. That would be too expensive. It's 5 months of fellowship at Liberty International, and 5 departments of LI. Each department will have 2 fellows. And in the past, they needed to pay for projectors, and now we will pay them. Not a lot of money. It will be $200 a month, kind of like stipend for being fellows at, for example, storytelling department or outreach department, or we have this fundraising department, training department. And they will be learning about how think tank works and how this department works and being, productive parts. This is, of course, part-time, not full-time. And after 5 months of this, they will come for 6 weeks to Arizona, and they will not only do the classes, like Clint Bolick, free market economics with Christos Levinsky, yada, 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 and the networking meetings, but they will be accomplishing tangible projects. So they will do a video. Here's the storytelling department, guys. They will already learn how to do good videos. They will make a video in Arizona on a chosen topic. I don't know, maybe migrants who changed their life in Arizona. I don't know. I'm just guessing. We have not picked the topics yet. We will do an event. We will do a research, because we have a research department. We can do research about immigration, for example, etc., etc. So we can have something very tangible at the end. These people will have a real training, and they will spread ideas of liberty, but they will also strengthen their careers. They will be stronger going forward with their careers.
You mentioned Clint Bolick. Now, for people that don't know, the Institute for Justice was out of Washington, D.C., and they were, all kinds of freedom stuff. The government come and seize an eminent domain, or you can't, braid hair, or you can't open a lemonade stand, whatever. And they would sue. Well, Clint moved to Arizona, and he was our first keynote speaker back in the first Freedom Summit 3 weeks after 9/11. I mean, it was, right then that he had come. Then he got involved in politics. His wife, she became a state representative, senator, whatever. She got elected politician. And he got appointed by the governor to the Supreme Court in Arizona. You have a Supreme Court Arizona justice. Right. And he has, when the Arizona Project comes, they go down, they get up close and personal with government. This is, and then Arizona State University, they have their own faculty-sponsored clubs and curriculum and whatever that. I mean, it's a thing in Arizona. So that's why
guys,
I always say,
if you know anyone out of US, because this is a not project for Americans, who might be interested in libertarian on the ground training in Phoenix next year, and also who wants to learn something practical at Liberty International, go to projectarizona.us. Or if you like what we do and you want to support it, we have a scholarship fund. We need to raise money to be able to pay for all of this. Please also go to projectarizona.us or liberty-intl.org and donate. You can donate crypto, you can donate US dollars, you can write a check, whatever. It's tax deductible because we are 501c3. And we are happy to fight for freedom, guys, because it's my passion, it's our passion, and it's actually
okay. Here's the deal I make with you, Jacek.
And I need to go, Ernie.
Okay, I know a lot of people with a lot of crypto money, a lot of. This Philosophy of Liberty project will open up the doors for a lot of things. I'm telling you. It's gonna. You had an impact here. Keep doing more of that, and so on. I already see where this goes. A lot of people, how'd you know, Ernie? How'd you not know? I mean, what were you paying attention to? I can see the time is right for this, and it is a conduit, a tube straight to you guys for doing this, and I want to help. I'm all over it, because how many minds can you free? And the best way to get your own personal freedom is to advocate it for everybody. That's why I do it.
Yes.
It's not that I'm, altruistic of sacrifice my life towards it. No, it's for me and my family, my kids, my grandkids. I know this. And Jacek is a perfect example of this. As a young man living in Poland, exposed, and like he's saying, all these students, they got parents getting screwed by the government. And a lot of them are entrepreneurs, they're business people, they understand. And oh my God, they read, an Ayn Rand book, or, watch a video or do something there. Whoa, is that what it is? That's what I've been missing? Boom. Well, they already know it at Liberty International. We're going global. We did Arizona. Then with the Lovolution with Ron Paul, we went national and kind of international. And now we're going international, because I don't think small, because I know guys like Jacek. We're going to have us some fun. We're going to have us some fun. Jacek, thanks for coming on, man. Give, your final promotion, where to go. Now it's Liberty-ITNL, right? .org.
Yes,
Liberty International. Just put in Liberty International, it'll blow up all over the place.
Liberty-intl.org, projectarizona.us. Yep, these are the sites. Also, we have social medias. We have Facebook for Liberty International, for Project Arizona. We have Instagram for Liberty International. Project Arizona is part of Liberty International, but it's very autonomous. That's why it has its own social media. So please check it out.
I got to get you guys on IPFS use and everything, so a lot of the best stuff does not go away. That's the benefit of that, and why we've been focusing on that so much for years. And we're working with Xano, Crypto, Roger Ver and Aaron Day, and a lot of the guys I've interviewed, all the developers and so on, to make sure that we're getting the promise fulfilled that was made with Bitcoin. It's going to be anonymous. It's not. It's pseudo-anonymous, and pseudo means not, So we're going to try and streamline this and get it more pure and not have it bastardized by politics and so on, which is where I know Jacek's mind is. So if you're lazy and you got some resources, I know a bunch of guys that have been very supportive of Liberty International and what Jacek's doing, taking over from Ken and so on, that the future looks bright. I'm telling you, it's going to be abundance, but we got to get past this big giant rock-filled backpack of government we got on that's sucking us dry, and it's going to explode. Here it comes, and Jacek is going to be one of our main contacts. Jacek, thanks for coming on, man. It's always great to see you. Tell Magda that I said hello and big hug, because I missed her. I was hoping to see her too. Is she there? Put her on camera.
I have closed door because of the kids, but
okay, all right.
I cannot right now, but I will definitely hug her for you.
Yeah.
Warmer than usual.
Yeah, good one. Hey, thanks for coming on, Jacek. I'm really happy that you're on board, and we're going to get this going. We're setting it all up now.
Thank you for all of the good job that you do.
You too, man. I'm so proud of you. I'm just so happy that you guys have found your place, because you deserve it. Peace, brother.
Peace. Cheers. Bye.